the 1983 Tony Awards. The 37th annual presentation of the American Theater Wing's Tony Awards. Live from the Uris Theater on Broadway in New York City.
I just heard a spiritual, one that every phonograph should own. I know when you hear it you will find that all your troubles have flown. When the sky looks cloudy to you, when the blue is turning gray, it'll make the sun say howdy to you. It'll drive your cares away. Get all set and up on your toes. This is the way it goes. Come on along, you can't go wrong, kicking the clouds away. Keep making hay, kicking the clouds away. Be wise and take it to heart, and you will laugh from the start to the end of a perfect day.
Miss Lena Horne and Mr. Richard Burton.
Miss Horne.
Mr. Burton.
Good evening and welcome to the 1983 Tony Awards. That marvelous opening number you've just seen is really the essence of what this show is about. It is from My One and Only, which is one of the 4 musicals nominated as this Broadway season's best, and it is by George and Ira Gershwin. This evening is about the giving out of Tonys, and it is a tribute to the Gershwins.
At the end of the evening, when the awards have been made and the songs have been sung, the name of this theater is going to be changed. And by watching and listening with us tonight, you will understand why. Presenting the Tonys to the winners this evening will be a representative in costume from almost every show on Broadway.
The nominees have been selected by the experts of the Tony Nominating Committee from the 49 productions which have opened this year. The secret ballots were then voted on by 670 qualified industry voters, and the results have been tabulated by the accounting firm of Lutz & Carr, and the custodians this evening are Deborah Monk and Margaret Lemie of Pump Boys and Dinettes.
To show you just how proud we are of our plays, we want to put it all up front. And we want to give the Tony right now for the best play of the season. To present the award is Miss Diane Carroll, who plays the inquiring psychiatrist in Agnes of God.
Don't be alarmed. This is the kind of glamorous costume you get to wear when you play a psychiatrist. The nominations for Best Play are Angels Fall by Lanford Wilson, a work which raises the question of what manner of person one ought to be in the face of nuclear apocalypse. Night Mother by Marsha Norman is about the choice to commit suicide. It is about the contemporary life and what gives it or fails to give it value. Plenty by David Hare, set against the decline of Britain after World War II, this play chronicles the loss of control of an idealist whose world was not what she had foreseen. Torch Song Trilogy by Harvey Fierstein is a devastatingly comic play about love and the merciless mayhem love wreaks. And the winner is Torch Song Trilogy.
Everyone was so scared I was going to say something very embarrassing to you all. I mean, Mel Gussow prayed that I would win the Tony just so I could say something embarrassing. I can't. We started in the basement of La Mama with one-act plays. The Glines are the only theater in America that would put this show on. They mortgaged an Oriental rug in their living room to do it. We opened for an 8-week limited engagement, could not give a ticket away for 3 weeks. Here we are tonight. Oh my God, it's ringing. Good night. Larry Lane, the producer of Torch Song Trilogy. John Glines. John Glines, the producer of Torch Song Trilogy.
We are high. That's a greeting, and it's also how we feel. First off, since I get to talk first, we agreed. I want to just thank John Glines especially, because he's the one that believed in Harvey, believed that the 3 plays that Harvey wrote could be put together as one, and the Glines took all the risks to make that happen, and then had the nice taste to let me do it with them on Broadway. I also want to thank our other partners and co-producers, Marty Markinson, Lawrence Lane, Betty Lee Hunt and Maria Pucci for Betmar, and Donald Tick. And there are so many people that were so dedicated to the success of Torch Song Trilogy. Our wonderful cast, our crew at the theater, our staff at the theater, our general manager, Edward H. Davis, our backers, those fabulous angels that gave us the money to let this show actually happen, and all of you who voted for us and told the world that Torch Song Trilogy is the best play on Broadway. Thank you. Jen?
This is a stupendous and miraculous moment, and I would like to accept this in memory of Jane Chambers and Billy Blackwell, and in honor of all my brothers and sisters. And I would like to express my deep gratitude to the nominating committee and the voters, to Harvey Fierstein, who wrought much more than he knew, to Peter Pope, our director, who put the magic in with his hands and his heart, to the company, past and present, God bless them all, and lastly, but most importantly, to the one person who believed and followed the dream from the very beginning, who never said, "You're crazy, it can't be done." And I refer to my partner and my lover, Lawrence Lane.
This portion of the 1983 Tony Awards is sponsored by Lincoln Mercury, offering a complete range of contemporary automobiles for 1983 from Lynx to Lincoln. And by Polaroid, makers of the sophisticated SLR 680 and 600 high-speed film.
Now, let us go back to a younger world, certainly a simpler one. There was no television, no radio, no films really, and music was starting to come out of the era of the sentimental ballad. Ragtime and jazz were beginning to have an influence, and into this bubbling cauldron, into Tin Pan Alley, came the Gershwins.
Good evening. I'm Marvin Hamlish, and that, of course, is some of George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. You know, if you're studying piano and you get really good, somewhere along the way you're going to run into George Gershwin. He was the first to fuse American jazz elements and symphonic elements together, and he exerted an influence on music which has been profound, to say the least. Well, how did it all start? Let's go back to the beginning. George Gershwin's first published song, remember now, from the same pen. When you want 'em, you can't get 'em. When you get 'em, you don't want 'em. At certain times you have too many, and lots of other times you haven't any. When you want 'em, you can't get 'em. When you get 'em, you don't want 'em. You're never satisfied at all. You're never satisfied at all. Well, thankfully, George didn't let that one discourage him, and he kept on writing.
Thank goodness.
You know, the most important thing that happened to him early in his career was persuading his lyric-writing brother, Ira, that they should work together.
And that collaboration was to make musical history. But the first song they ever wrote together was Hit It, Marvin. The real American folk song is a rag, a metal tag, a rhythmic tonic for the chronic blues. The critics called it a joke song, but now they've changed their tune and they like it somehow. For it's inoculated with a syncopated sort of meter, sweeter than a classic strain. Boy, you can't remain still and quiet. It's a riot. The real American folk song is like the fountain of youth. You taste and it elates you and then invigorates you. The real American folk song, a master stroke song, is all
They wrote another song together called A New Step Every Day, but they hadn't done anything with it. Lyricist Buddy DeSilva suggested to Ira that there might be a way to point the number up and get it into the George White scandals of 1922.
Well, they got it in all right.
It was the third of 5 scandals George Gershwin was to do.
All you preachers who delight in patting the dancing teachers, let me tell you there are a lot of features of the dance that carries you through the gates of heaven. It's madness to be always sitting around in sadness when you could be learning the steps of gladness. You'll be happy when you can do just 6 or 7. Begin today, you'll find it's nice. The quickest way to paradise when you practice is the thing to do. Simply say, as you go, I'll build a stairway to paradise with a new step every day. And I'm gonna get there at any price. Stand aside, I'm on the way. I've got the blues, and above 'em so there,
from the tap dancing musical 42nd Street, Jerry Orbach, who plays the Broadway producer with the heart of gold.
Thank you. The nominees for Outstanding Choreography are George Faison for Porgy and Bess, Gillian Lynn for Cats, Donald Sadler for On Your Toes, and Tommy Walsh and Tommy Tune for My One and Only. And the winner is Tommy Walsh and Tommy Tune for My One and Only.
Oh, we have friends and relatives to thank for contributing to our getting this award tonight. My sister Gracie, who donated the famous Gracie cross step that goes like this. That's my sister Gracie's.
And my sister Barbara gave us this.
Thanks, Barbie. And, oh gosh, a lot more. Honey Coles gave us many steps, among them the Flying Charleston, which is my favorite. Oh. It's also a killer.
And I want to thank Tune for pushing me and making me grow more and more each year. And Wally Harper and Michael Gibson and Peter Howard and Jack Lee and especially Bjork Lee for making us look real good. And
thank you, Walsh. And thank you, Gershwins, for writing those great tunes for us. Thank you.
To present the award to the Outstanding Director of a Musical, we have a director who is 96 years young. He's the director of On Your Toes. And the reason he is not eligible for this award is because, you see, he was the director of the last production of On Your Toes 30 years ago. Since then, he's also directed Pal Joey, Where's Charlie, Damn Yankees, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, but you've guessed it by now, is George Abbott.
You give me the feeling that I'm among friends. Several years ago, I was at a dinner in Coral Gables when I met a man who said, when he heard my name, George Abbott. Said there used to be a theater fellow by that name, but I guess he's gone. So when Roger Stevens sent me a letter offering to dig me up out of the Florida sand and giving me a job, I was very happy about it. Tonight I have another job. I've got to present the candidates for Best Director of a Musical. There are four of them. They are Michael Kahn for Showboat, Trevor Nunn for Cats, Ivor Van Reitman for Merlin, and Tommy Tune and Tommy Walsh for you know what. Trevor Nunn.
I don't dance, and meeting Mr. George Abbott has bereft me of all words. So I suppose all I can do at this moment is to purr. I should thank the wonderful American cast of Cats, which reminds me in turn to thank the wonderful original London cast of Cats. Both of them together stepped out blithely into the dark on a voyage of discovery. I want to thank the producers, Bernie Jacobs and Jerry Schoenfeld, most of all, for trusting me to do it my way. And above all, I want to thank the choreographer and associate director of Cats, Gillian Lynn, for working so marvelously with me. In England, we dream of coming to New York. We think of New York as the place where we learn how to do musicals. We come here in awe, and I'm quite overwhelmed and humbled to receive this. Thank you.
The Tony Awards is sponsored by IBM. We're dedicated to the office, where it is now and where it will be. And by GE. At GE, we bring good things to life.
1924. That was really a great year for the Gershwins. George performed the Rhapsody in Blue for the very first time. And then in September in London, his musical Primrose opened, to which Ira contributed some of the lyrics. And then in November, the fabulous Lady Be Good opened in Philadelphia on its way to Broadway. And then came June, and George wrote his 5th Scandals for George White, and that was destined to be his last, because young Gershwin felt that after 1921, 22, 23, and now the 24 Scandals, he deserved a raise. George White felt otherwise. So that was the end of that. I cannot help but feel that Mr. White may have made something of a mistake, because there is still a song from that Scandal score from 1924 that we are singing to this day.
Somebody loves me, I wonder who. I wonder who it can be. Somebody loves me, I wish I knew. Who can it be? Worries me. For every boy who passes by, I shout, hey, maybe you were meant to be my loving baby. Somebody loves me, I wonder who. Maybe it's you.
If I'm lucky. You know something, in 1924, when Lady Be Good did open in Philadelphia, Adele Astaire had one of the great ballads of all time, The Man I Love, right? Yeah. Now, the show ran long, something had to be cut, so guess what was cut? The Man I Love. That's freaking. Now, 3 years later, they did Strike Up the Band, and they put The Man I Love back in Strike Up the Band. It opened, I think, in New Jersey, and nobody came to see it. It closed out of town. There goes The Man I Love. Then later that year, they wrote a new musical, Rosalie, right? George and Ira put back what song? What do you guess?
The Man I Love.
Right, The Man I Love. Guess what song was cut out before opening night?
The Man I Love.
That's so wonderful.
But you know, Lady Be Good didn't do so badly. After all, it played 333 performances, and what a wonderful title song it had.
That is.
Oh, sweet, lovely Lady Be Good. Oh, Lady Be Good to me. I am so awfully misunderstood.